Coming up in this Brightline construction update, this update looks at the first day of a week-long signal and track cutover around Northwood on December 5th, 2021. Northwood is located in Palm Beach County, just north of downtown West Palm Beach, and also included some work in Riviera Beach near the Port of Palm Beach. We'll start near the Northwood connection near 25th Street. Shortly after I arrived, crews had removed this old cantilever signal next to 25th Street and were preparing to take it away. This cutover is the last of the major work south of Jupiter. It involved the removal of old signal equipment, like this cantilever, the installation and activation of new signal equipment, and some minor track work. When complete, the new second track will be completely in service from West Palm Beach Station all the way to the Jupiter Drawbridge. In the distance, you can see some more track work in progress, which we'll look at closer later on. And here is the signal being taken away by Hi-Rail truck. The new track arrangement here meant that this signal is no longer needed, so it is being taken to their staging area behind Workshop B, where it will be disposed of. I should note that most of this video has been sped up significantly, as otherwise it would have ended up being over an hour long, so I apologize for any jerkiness and camera movements that result from this. The signal is going to the area on the right here. Behind Workshop B is a preview of the future in terms of Brightline train length. The original Bright Red and the brand new Bright Red have been combined to form an 8-car train that is being used for the Polar Express trains Brightline is operating in Miami. All of the work that is being done as part of this cutover is being coordinated out of these trailers, with representatives from the Florida East Coast Railway, Brightline, and the contractors. They are also responsible for all train movements in this area while the signal system is being worked on. With the cantilever portion removed, crews shifted their focus to removing the supporting pole structure. With the crane tied onto it to keep it from falling over, crews worked to remove the bolts that were securing it to the foundation and then swung it out of the way. Here's the Hi-Rail truck returning to take away the pole structure as well. A backhoe loader was brought in to assist with laying the structure down on its side. And here it is being loaded on the truck. We'll now head a few miles north to near the Port of Palm Beach and Riviera Beach. Here, crews are removing an old crossover that was no longer needed as part of the new operations plan being put into place here with the new track. This signal gantry will also be removed as part of this cutover. The excavator here is moving in a piece of pre-built panel track into the place where the old crossover turnout had been. We'll now move down to an area between 49th Street and 45th Street. The lead track to the Port of Palm Beach used to end here, but has been extended farther south as part of this project. The old turnout had recently been removed, and the old lead was connected to the new track. This ballast regulator and tamper were at work on the new ballast that was laid here in the process. We'll now head back to Northwood. Crews were in the process of installing a new number 20 turnout for a new crossover here. The signal gantry here will also be removed as part of this process after the track work is completed. The signal heads return to signify that they are out of service for any trains that pass through here before it is removed. It started raining to the point where it was not safe to fly, so I did not catch the rest of its placement. About an hour later, the rain had stopped and I was able to get flying again. The turnout was in place and was being connected to the rest of the tracks, and crews were starting to drop ballast on it. This signal was a new addition and is protecting one of the tracks that make up the Northwood connection, where the South Florida Rail Corridor, which is Tri-Rail's tracks, connect to the FEC. It was installed several years ago with the idea of future Tri-Rail service on the FEC north of Jupiter from here. As far as I know, this connection has never been used outside of testing. On the north end of the turnout, crews were constructing a short section of track between the turnout and existing trackage. I took a short break, and when I got back, some track equipment was on site and was ready to depart. Here is some more ballast being dropped. The ballast is being taken from this pile. Back by the port, and the new track was installed and ballast was also being dropped here. Crews were also installing some new rail here on the existing track. Back in Northwood again, and here's the first train to pass through the area since the work began. This is FEC train 206, running from Hialeah to Jacksonville, with some extra locomotives that are going to be dropped in New Smyrna Beach. As a safety precaution with the workers on site, it is required to regularly blow its horn through the work site and keep its bell on. With 2:06 past and the sun dropping, it was time for me to call it a day here, but it wouldn't be a trip to West Palm without at least seeing one Brightline train in service. So here's one departure and one arrival at the West Palm Beach station. Departing is Bright Pink. And here's Bright Blue arriving. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also check out my social media pages.